Kicking off the second half of our program, put your hands together for Shelly Kwiatkouski.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm really happy to see you. You should know that we are now going to lock the doors and turn the air conditioners off. Yeah. Today I wanted to talk about the practice of yoga, and I'm hoping to sort of transform your thinking about it and maybe reduce some of the intimidation that comes with when people hear about yoga in general. My story starts like this. It's 2006, and I'm completely inspired by my yoga practice. I decided to buy a yoga studio. Now, honestly, I don't know what I was thinking. I just graduated from my 200-hour teacher's training program, so I didn't know what I was in for. And with all my enthusiasm, I started to explain to people all the reasons why to practice yoga. And you know what they tell me? They can't. So any yogi will tell you the number one reason why people won't practice yoga is because they can't touch their toes. Yeah, right? Close second is I'm not flexible. So what I love about that is that my opportunity tonight is to really educate you on the practice of yoga is designed for all of our ages. So whatever you need in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s changes. For some of us, we know that a little bit further along. But it was designed that way as well. It's a very organic practice. And so I thought I would give you some examples of that, because there are now 300 million people worldwide practicing yoga. Did you know that? A lot of people. The history sort of starts like this in the 1930s. There was Ashtanga yoga. It was introduced. It was for 13-year-old boys that are active wrestlers. So what would you do to keep the attention of a 13-year-old boy? Well, I would make it strong, physical, challenging, and of course playful. And that's exactly what they did. And then later what ends up happening is it gets reintroduced, and it's called Iyengar yoga. Some of you may be familiar with that size because I saw some of my yogi friends out there. And Iyengar was recovering from tuberculosis, malaria, and typhoid. Now, obviously, he's still weak and malnourished. So what would you do for somebody that was in recovery? Well, you could take those same poses, make it into a healing modality with the introduction of props and modifications, and that's what they did. Yoga is really great for anyone that wants to take back their health. What it does is it sort of rewires the brain so that the mind and the body work together for the benefit of long-term health and wellness. And Iyengar is a real testament to that because he lived to be 95 years old. And that's just one of the amazing things about the practice. Again, as it expanded since the 1930s, you now have like power yoga, Bikram yoga, I know somebody was asking about that, vinyasa as well. And the idea is it's supposed to build this connection between the body and the mind for long-term strength and flexibility. There's something that happens in the union of the practice. Right now, there's this big infatuation with goat yoga. Yeah. But I don't want you to be intimidated by the theatrics of the practice. It really is a discipline for many of us. And what we do is we have the spiritual and physical aspects of it. And what that does is it sort of expands us to have a bigger relationship with our breathing, our physical bodies, and the relationship that we have with our minds. Let's be honest that life can be very stressful at this point. And when you start to use the practice to bring things back into balance, it creates this union within you. Now, most people think that my life is full of rainbows and unicorns because I get to talk about peace, love, and wear yoga clothes all day. But I do have my own share of hardships. And one of those hardships is that Father's Day of 2018, my mom took her life. Now, death by suicide stuns, but it stuns with soul-crushing surprise. It not only leaves you lost and confused, but you genuinely are haunted by the tragedy. Now, my practice taught me tools to cope, tools that redirect you to this place within you, where your brain starts to focus on inner peace and a sense of self-awareness. The practice of yoga also really supports self-care. So when I think about the practice and people's perspective on it, what I really want you to realize is that it offers benefits to your health, to your relationship to your heart, and to your relationship to your families. And no matter how big your problems are, they'll get a little bit smaller. They don't necessarily go away, but they become a little bit more manageable. So if you're still telling yourself that you can't practice yoga because you're old or fat or clumsy or stiff, oh, please think again. Think again. So from our hearts to yours, we say namaste. Thank you. Mwah.